Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit more different than I usually post. I usually post about games, all the other dumb stuff I do. Today I'm going to be uploading this video about basically me making fun of a dictator. And I don't know how it's going to go. My friends have told me to try to upload this. I don't think it'll do well, but hey. It's at least something, and they told me to at least try to tag it. So I'm gonna tag it, and I'm gonna try it out. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully. I have to see, because this can be kind of iffy, because I was in a rush while making this video. So, I have to see. But if you guys like it, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to be speaking to the audience mainly in this one. I'm right now, whenever I recorded this, like what, 2 weeks ago, I was mainly just focused on the script. I don't think I recorded an outro for it, so I hope you guys do enjoy this. It's just me trying to come up with the most cleverest way to roast this Italian dictator. Hope you guys like the video. Hope you guys like this new editing style that I tried doing. And yeah, see you guys in a video. Peace. Who was one of the most terrible people? Ran over a child with one of the most wealthiest people at the time. It was this man. The man that looks like the Squash from Plants vs. Zombies. Benito Amilcare Andrea Mussolini, that's a mouthful, was Italy's dictator at the time, and one of the more tamer dictators. AKA, he kinda sucked at his job. And yes, he did squash a child with Cornelius Vanderbilt IV, who let Mussolini drive his car. You know that one friend that can drive, but you can't trust him to drive your car because he's a little bit too reckless and probably just barely got his permit at the DMV? Yeah, that's Mussolini. Mussolini was born in Verano di Costa, the coast of summer, Italy, on July 29, 1883. He was the son of a blacksmith and avid socialist, Alessandro Mussolini, and Catholic mother, Rosa Maltoni, related to the Macaroni family. Actually, talking about macaroni, did you know Mussolini tried banning pasta? He said, quote unquote, pasta was a passist food that deluded people were tricked into thinking was nutritious and made them heavy, brutish, skeptical, slow, and pessimistic. As such, it should be abolished and replaced with rice. In reality, Mussolini just tried making the nation self-sufficient and tried liberating Italy from any foreign grain imports. Why didn't he just say that? Kinda dumb. I'm not gonna lie, just kinda dumb. Also, I'm glad his mother was Catholic because he needed some Jesus, bro. When he was 10, he was expelled from his boarding school because guess what? He stabbed another kid and was expelled, like I said. Well, get ready for round 2, because guess what? His first freaking day at his second school, he stabbed another kid, but he was suspended at this time. At this point, he needs, like, one more kid for a UAV. You know what? Let's use that kid when he was an adult. He now has a UAV. He could have used that whenever they were chasing him down to kill him. I don't know. At this point, send him to therapy. Don't send him to another school. Send him to the insane asylum. Don't send him to a freaking school. He's gonna stop. Mussolini edited newspapers in Austria-Hungary in his 20s. He then became the editor of Avanti, Italy's official daily Socialist Party newspaper, in his 30s. He was basically the Keemstar, or Alex Jones, of World War I. Well, That was until he was kicked out for basically celebrating Italy's entrance into World War I. And then shortly after, fighting into the war. Yeah, let's get into a huge war that was caused by a bunch of stupid college kids. No, like literally, Gavrilo Princip, this guy, who killed Archduke Ferdinand, this guy was still in college. Like, that's kind of, what? Years after the war, Mussolini made the Fasci Italiani di Combattimento, or the Italian Combat Unit. The group fought against socialists, communists, and no, not in politics. Like the name suggests, they literally attacked them, jumped them, killed them, shot them, anything was possible at this time. It was the mafia, basically. He turned this small militia into a political party. They were called the Fascio, or the Fascists. Muso Posto Linguini came into power in 1921 when he was elected into the lower chamber of Italian parliament. However, this man did not care and wanted more. He and his army of Fettuccini fascists went marching down into Rome and basically whined about making him prime minister. The king at the time, Victor Emmanuel III, refused to declare the state of emergency and impose martial law, basically not making him a prime minister. Instead, he basically threw away his government and asked Mussolini to form a new one. Now Mussolini had a 2-for-1 deal where he was both prime minister and internal minister, making him have full control of the police, and then made the police go for his oppositions. And then he had the combat squad renamed to the Partito Nazionale Fascista, or the National Fascist Party. Mussolini then, in June 1924, hired assassins to kill his opposition, a socialist party leader, Giacomo Matteotti. This guy.
A few moments later.
Okay, Giacomo Matteotti. There we go, that's annoying. Making the opposition basically riot to destroy Parliament after this sudden stunt. A couple months later, after Mussolini admitted to killing him, instead of most people being angry, they cheered him on. And I hate to quote this, but this is what he said. I declare before this chamber, and before the world, and before God, that I personally assume the whole political, moral, and historical responsibility for what has occurred. I declare that if the fascists are an association of malefactors, then I am the head of that association of malefactors. In response to this scandalous press attack against fascism, Mussolini said, "The whole nation is asking what the government is doing. The whole nation is asking whether the government is governed by men or puppets." Standing in his quote-unquote macho stance that made him look like a potato, or even the dude from Austin Powers that had, like, you know, that little dude or the big dude, like mini-me, like that big guy. I'll put up a picture. He was reported to say all these words with fire, passion, vehemence. Other words for dignity. He ran the government out of Italy, but he kept the king. Soon after this, everyone in Italy was calling him Il Duce. No, wait, I read that wrong. Il Duce, which literally means the leader in Italian, or the poop in English. Well, it matches with his personality at least. After this, he rules as a dictator. He had his own cult personality and presented himself as an omnipotent and an irreplaceable leader. He basically also killed off all his opposition, made sure there wasn't any more elections and rigged them to always be him, and he basically killed people for any political crimes. Fun fact, Mussolini forced all the movie theaters in the nation to display fascist propaganda before any movie was played. At least it's better than the previews. Like, I don't want to watch like 50,000 commercials before like a Marvel movie. So I would take this over that. Anyways, he was also married twice. He had one child with his first wife, Ida del Tsar, but would eventually go to get the milk. And hid them from the public eye. He would also have 5 other children, 3 boys and 2 girls, with another wife, Rachel Guidi. Mussolini ruled in a unique fashion that differed from any other dictator at the time. He ruled in a totalitarian regime, where he absolutely controlled everything. And I mean, everything. 24/7. Like, modern day North Korea. He controlled what you read, what your opinion, when you could drive, when you could poop, when you could read, when you could blink. Like, this is also a style of dictatorship that Kim Jong-un used and still uses today. Also, the state controlled the economic allocations and productions of everything in Italy. This was called economic dictatorism. And I also hate reading this because, yeah, but Mussolini did not care about religion until, well, near the end of World War II. What Mussolini basically did was literally disband all the Catholic Boy and Girl Scouts at the time and made any other forms of these scouts illegal. Then he replaced them with his own version of this, which was literally called the Opera Nazionale Battaglia, or the Balilla National Opera. Why? I guess he hated their Girl Scout cookies? Or anything fun? At least he wasn't racist, and at least he let journalists criticize the government, but they still had to support the government at the same time. I don't know. Mussolini did not like Germany and Hitler at first. He used to be jealous, but over time they formed an alliance, and he embraced the way of Hitler. Italy invaded Ethiopia then in 1935 for its resources. The Spanish and Germany supported them and sent troops to assist them in this. Then, both Germany and Italy supported Francisco Franco in the Spanish Civil War in 1936. Also, the man's name is literally Frank. His his childhood must have been bad. But also, his parents must have hated him. Yeah. In 1937, Italy left the League of Nations in secret with Germany. And in March of 1938, Germany invaded Austria with Italy's support. Also, did you know Hitler looked up to Mussolini? In 1938, Hitler traveled to Italy to meet Mussolini for the first time. Hitler loved Italy for its art. Also, people apparently seem to forget Hitler before he was Hitler was an artist. Yeah, I wouldn't call that art. Just saying, you could have done a little bit better. You should not have dropped out of art school, bud. Hitler went into Mussolini's room, and when Hitler got into the room and saw Mussolini, he literally burst into tears right then and there, as reported. I wish, like, there was a picture of this film, because film did work at the time, but no. Like, I wish there was, but I guess the cameraman might have been executed? But there's an alternative. There is a telegram called the Journal of Mussolini's Lover, which had Mussolini interviewed soon after his meeting with Hitler. He described Hitler as an absolute fanboy of him. It's like meeting the celebrity you looked up to as a kid. Well, in this case, it's meeting the man that inspired you to become a megalomaniac tyrant. Yeah. All I have to say is mine is Beetlejuice. The guy's funny. He also described Hitler as pleasant and an old sentimentalist at heart. What? Okay, that's not how I would describe him. I would describe him as a piece. World War II has just started. After Hitler invaded Poland, everyone's at war. But Italy. The US didn't care about Mussolini as much as they hated Germany and Italy. They didn't care because he didn't overstep his boundaries. Actually, at this time, they liked him because he declared Italy at the time was neutral. That was until May 22nd of 1939, where Italy and Germany signed the Pact of Steel, officially creating the Axis power. Wait, no, that's Axis powers. There we go. Germany absolutely decimated France soon after, and their terrible defense strategy, which was literally one big wall to keep the Germans out. The Germans literally walked around this wall. It was called the Maginot Line. Here's a picture of it. Like, it's so dumb. It sounds like someone we knew back in like 2018. Yeah. Anyways, Mussolini announced Italy's entrance into the war. Italy declared war on France and Great Britain on June 10th, 1940. The worst of it has now come. After many years of fighting in 1943, Italy's own people have seen the war as a failure, and on July 25th, 1943, Mussolini was voted out of power by his own Grand Council. Man, the irony. Plus, he was arrested soon after visiting the king to basically whine his way back into power. He was then sent to the island of La Maddalena, or the Magellene, there we go, at English Art. While all this is happening, Italy is secretly negotiating peace talks with the Allies. Italy's pretty notorious for switching sides in every single war when it's hard for them. Anyways, the Germans literally hated this, and they were like, nuh-uh. They invaded the northern part of Italy, forming two Italies. Mussolini was shaking in his boots, and he was probably about to be handed over to the Allies. Well, that was until his #1 fanboy came in and rescued his sorry butt and transported him to the German-occupied northern Italy. And Hitler made Mussolini his puppet leader, creating the Italian Social Republic. And this led to the termination of thousands of Italian Jews. It was basically busted into Italy, liberating it with freedom. The absolutely cowardly Mussolini tried to run away into Spain in April of 1945 with his lover, Claretta Petacci. But he was later discovered and arrested by partisans searching troop transport trucks. There were many rumors of Mussolini's death, but the most viable was that he was executed by a firing squad. After an autopsy uncovered multiple bullets from both him and his lover's body. What's there to say there wasn't just one person that really hated Mussolini? Soon after... Jesus. Okay, hold on. Holy... Okay. The bodies of Mussolini and Petacci were hung upside down at the Piazzale Loreto in Milan and displayed for crowds to kick and spit on. A day after that, Hitler committed suicide, and then Germany surrendered a week after that, concluding World War II. Jesus, the turn of events! I mean, like, so much has happened! Holy, I know they hated the man, but I did not expect them to, like, literally, holy. Because of the way Mussolini ruled, and I hate to say this, but as much damage as he caused, he also made some improvements with Italy. Italy's economy has blossomed in his rule, and even after his rule. The GDP of Italy rose by an average of 5.9% annually during this time, reaching to a peak of 8.3% in 1961. That was enough to help pay reparations at the time of the war, and even helped make Italy make improvements to its government. Also, yeah, remember his children? Most of them escaped and had families of their own. Except for one. Bruno Mussolini accidentally kamikazed himself in a test flight. But yeah, anyways, Era Romano Vittorio, Anna Maria, and Benito Albino Mussolini survived and had children. Oh gosh, okay, this is an annoying list. Okay. Alessandra Mussolini is a grandchild of Mussolini and now a member of Italian Parliament. She had 3 kids, a son named Romano Floriani Mussolini, who plays football today, aka soccer for Americans, Clarissa Mussolini and Caterina Mussolini. Rachel Mussolini is also a granddaughter of Benito Mussolini and was the counselor of the city of Rome during the 90s. Ciao Goiolo, Cesare Mussolini is a great-grandson of Benito Mussolini and stood for the 2019 European Parliament election in Italy as a member of the Wright Brothers of Italy political party. Man, that's a lot of grandchildren that are in the government. At least they're not banning pasta. Well, we have learned a lot about Mussolini. His great rise, his great fall, his hate for pasta, how he ran over a kid, how he was brutally treated after the war, but most importantly, I'm 99% sure he's the guy from Austin Powers. He's also either Heavy from Team Fortress 2, or he's the Squash reincarnated in Plants vs. Zombies. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked that. Like I said, this was rushed. I had only a bit of time to finish it, because whenever I tried originally doing this, I had barely finished my script and recorded the morning after. If I remember right, I finished the script at 1 in the morning, but I was sick at the time, so I couldn't go to school on Monday. And so basically I took that time to wake up early and record. So usually the time I wake up for school, I went to record. I recorded this in a rush, and you notice that I'm trying not to scream. Everyone was still asleep at the time, and I tried being expressive? Best way I could put it as expressive. I tried being expressive about this. And I do hope you guys do like this. There has been a lot of effort put into this. And yeah, hope you guys hope you guys enjoy this. Don't be a Mussolini and don't run over a child.